former English teacher going viral after posting a raw and unfiltered farewell video as she leaves the classroom behind after just 3 years. Listen.
A lot of these kids don't know how to read because they have had things read to them, or they can click a button and have something read out loud to them. I just don't think these kids even care. They don't care about making a difference in the world. They don't care about how to have a resume. They don't care how to write a resume. They don't care how to write a cover letter, because ChatGPT will just do it for them. And I think that we need to cut off technology from these kids, probably until they go to college.
All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor unto Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Harakak Wadash. I would also like to give a double honors unto the apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone that do rule well. And I would also like to say a sincere shalom unto the hopeful elect, unto the scattered elect, the brothers that are out there prophesying and laboring in this truth and in this doctrine. Unto you I say shalom. American youth are cooked, all right, like America. All right, this place is done. And they like to say, you know, the children are our future. These children, they can't even read. Okay, and who's to blame? Esau. Okay, because this is their setup. This is their school system. All right, they set the curriculum, and they're really dumbing down these children through technology, through their, you know, passing kids along, no kid left behind. All right, but this generation, this new generation of children that are coming up, they're all tailor-made for the MOTB, for the New World Order, okay? Where they don't got to learn nothing. Everything can just be downloaded. They don't have to read. Everything's like this lady said. Everything can be read to them, okay? This teacher, they said the teacher quit, all right, said these kids can't even read. They don't want to read. They got to, you can't even read these texts sometimes. It's WTF and, it's just acronyms, all right? It's really a testament to show you how through America is. All right, before, let's say 40 years ago, you can say even 30 years ago, kids were, even though college is bullshit, all right, listen, that's another higher learning of Esau to indoctrinate you with their bullshit, okay? But these kids don't even want to go to college. These kids are not thinking about having a future, even though there's no future in Babylon, okay? But the mentality of a lot of these youth, they're through, okay? These niggas don't even want to work, okay? They think they could, make TikTok videos. These females, they get on OnlyFans. That's the mentality of this generation, this new generation. They're cooked. They're through. Like I said, they're tailor-made for the New World Order, all right? Where they just want to be told what to do. You get them a stipend. You give them a certain amount of money. You let them go buy a little weed. Let them go party. Let them go turn up. All right. I saw another video. It was at a graduation, and these niggas just wilding out. They get twerking and shaking their ass all at the graduation. These kids is through. All right, and they don't even realize it, that Esau knows that. That's why it's going to be nothing for them to integrate these robots into these different jobs, because these niggas don't want to work. All right, and these are the same niggas, these young niggas out here, the YNs, all right, the young Keishas, all right, young Big Shirleys that's going to be out there looking for a job, begging the government, all right, we ain't got no food, we don't got this, we don't got that, and Esau going to come right with the solution. Esau going to say, hey, you don't, I'll help you out. You don't even got to work, and these niggas don't have the mentality like, let me work for what I have. Let me try to earn it. No, these niggas, they want everything given to them. They want, fast. They like that Esau spirit. All right, Esau, he wasn't patient. He didn't have faith. So when he offered his birthright, okay, in the book of Genesis, the 27th chapter, to Esau, because he wanted it fast. All right, he said, well, what is this birthright going to do for me? I'm about to die. That's the same thing with these young generation. All right, and it's all of them. All right, these kids nowadays, they don't want to do nothing. They ain't about shit. They don't want to do shit. Okay, and it shows you, and it's showing. All right, look at the leaders of this country. The leaders is all jacked up. The leaders are all divided. Okay, so let me start with this. This is Ecclesiasticus, Sirach, chapter 10. And verse 1, a wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. We're not living under a wise judge right now because there's no judgment going out. All right, kids, people do shit nowadays and get a slap on the wrist. You can go steal out of a store and you'll be out the same day. Okay, so we're not living under a wise rulership. Esau, Edom, so-called white man whose rulership we're under right now, he's not a wise judge. Because there's no righteous judgment goes out. Actually, let me go to another scripture, and then I'm gonna go back to that. Habakkuk chapter 1 and verse 4. Therefore, the law is slack, and judgment doeth never goeth forth. For the wicked doeth compass about the righteous, therefore wrong judgment proceedeth. Why is wrong judgment proceedeth? Because the law, statutes, and commandments of the Bible are not being held. All right, people are not being held by a righteous standard. They're being held by a standard of this wicked system we live in. Okay, this so-called judicial system of wicked laws that we live under. All right, that lets adultery run rapid. All right, that lets all type of wicked freakism go on. All right, and no repercussions. No one's no one's held accountable. Okay, and that's how Esau wanted. Esau wants a lawless system. Okay, where people are just like that whole do as thou will spirit. Okay, let me go back to the Sirach. I'm slacky. I'm all over the place. Verse 2. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. In what manner of the ruler of the city is, such are they that dwell therein. So the judge of the people is right now it's Trump, but we know Trump don't run nothing. Like the Apostle Tahar says, Trump is nothing more than middle management. Okay, but he's in rulership right now. So it says, as the judge of the people is himself, so of his officers. In what manner of the ruler of the city, such are they that dwell therein. So we're under a madman. All right. So how are the people going to react? All right. How are these the same way this youth are acting? I see another article where a nigga, I don't know if it was a nigga, but some little girl got in his way and he sliced her with a damn can top or something like that. These young niggas out here are bugged out. They quick to pull a gun out on you. These niggas don't care. All right. So how much more in the school system? Okay, where they're supposed to be learning and to be what do you call it? Pillars of the community and shit like that. These niggas don't want to know. They don't want to do nothing. You're going to see more teachers walking out. Therefore, you're going to have Chat GPT. You're going to have robots teaching these kids. All right, and they really ain't going to learn shit because at least you have a few teachers that still care and they see some good in these kids. Esau don't see no good in none of you niggas. All right, whether you sincere about learning or not, a lot of these niggas can't even read. 10 years old, 11 years old, have Chat GPT read to them. Have, you see it all the time when you see these little niggas talking on the phone. You thinking they talking to somebody. No, they texting. All right, all you got to do is press the button and tell Siri or whatever, Alexa to do this and do that. All this technology has made the people more lazier, more dependent. You're dependent on a system. You're dependent on a man. You're not leaning on Yahawashi. Okay, you're leaning on everything else but the Lord. Okay, you're not leaning on true wisdom. You're leaning on the wisdom of Esau. You're leaning on technology. You're not leaning on the principles, the law, statutes, and commandments written in the scripture. All right, verse 3, a unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. Unwise king, the people are destroyed. Our people are destroyed. Jacob's destroyed. The majority of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans are destroyed here. All right, and the Jakes, the older Jakes that did have some sense, the baby boomers, all right, they about to die off. Okay, so then you got what is it? Gen X. Okay, a lot of them is bugged out too. Okay, but this new was Generation Z. In this spirit that they named Generation Z because Z is the last letter of the alphabet. So this is it. This is the last generation. These young demons out here, they ain't gonna make it. Okay, and it's It's prophecy. 2/3 of our people are going to, not going to make it, are going to be judged out here. And the actions of these young niggas, okay, is the judgment is going to be warranted. All right, the righteous judgment is going to fit the crime. Okay, because these niggas ain't trying to hear the law of the Lord. These niggas is not trying to hear the scriptures. All right, these niggas is trying to chase the bag. Okay, or these niggas is trying to figure out, whose woman they could pop, or who they could rob, or or how they can get over on somebody, or who they could scam. Because a lot of these jakes, they getting out of high school, and what are they doing? All right, a lot of them ain't doing shit. A lot of them sleeping still living with their parents. All right, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 years out of college, they still living with their parents, not trying to do shit. All right, let me grab this Proverbs 22 and verse 6. It says, "Train up a child in the way that he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it." But these kids aren't being trained up in the law, statutes, and commandments of the scriptures. All right, they're being trained up by the wicked ways of this world. All right, the ways of Esau. Okay, they're being trained up by the ways of Christianity. Okay, all left hand wisdom, all witchcraft. Okay, but the hopeful elect, all right, the children of the elect are being trained up in a way, in somewhat in the ways of righteousness. And it's hard to raise your child in this wicked society where they got distractions left and right. Everything is a distraction. Everything is, every wickedness is all around them. But hey, if it's a constant test. It's a daily grind to raise children in the society. All right. And, you just have to, pray to Yahawashi that, the Lord puts a righteous spirit on your child, a spirit of obedience, a spirit of obedience. All right. Because that's one of the things that these children don't have. All right. They don't want to be told what to do. Okay. They don't want to be told that they were wrong. They don't want to be told that, they don't want to be shown a righteous way, because it's easy to be wicked in the society. It's hard to be righteous because the wicked, everyone's doing wickedness. Okay. But how many people are doing righteousness? All right. Righteousness is frowned upon in this society. All right. Let me grab this. Back in Proverbs 29, and let me see, verse 18. Where there is no vision, the people perish, but he that keepeth the law, happy is he. All right. There's no vision in this place. The people are going to perish. 2/3 of our people, all right, they're perishing already. All right, because their minds are gone. Their minds are polluted with garbage. Their minds are polluted with liberalism and all that type of wicked ass philosophies. Their minds are polluted with all these philosophies: democracy, Christianity, Catholicism. Excuse me. All the wicked left hand philosophies of Esau. But he that keepeth the law, happy is he. All right, you keep the law. All right, to the best of your ability, the Lord is going to sup with you. The Lord is going to deal with you. All right, but while the world looks at you a certain type of way because you're different and you want to be different from these demons out here. All right. Let me grab Hosea 4 and 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing that thou hast forgotten the law of thy power. I will also forget thy children. Lack of knowledge. Okay. And our people, they reject knowledge. They reject true knowledge. All right. You got some young brothers in the camps, but it's rare that you see any, it's going to be rare, unless the spirit is on them to see, any of these younger, come up and come into the camps and want to learn and seek the truth. Because a lot of these young niggas out here, they ain't trying to seek nothing but the bag and some wickedness. Okay. And it's all around us. All right. Social media, it's you gotta, if you're around and you got nephews and the younger generation, these niggas don't want to do nothing. They don't want to work. They don't want to do shit. You gotta beg these niggas to get a job. Okay, you gotta threaten young niggas to get a job. All right, and they still don't want to do it. All right, a nigga asleep on a couch, a nigga asleep in a weekly. All right, so they ain't got to work. Okay, a nigga asleep in their car just because they ain't got to work. A nigga go DoorDash and what's it, Uber Eats and do all that stupid shit just so they don't have to get a real job. But Esau has tailor made this society for that. All right, tailor made, for you could so you could be a YN and thrive being a YN. All right. Let me get Micah 2:10. Micah chapter 2 verse 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with the sword destruction. That's what Jake has to realize. This ain't our rest. Okay, this is not our rest. We're not supposed to be here trying to make it. Yeah, we're trying to, trying to make it like, trying to succeed and be successful and, live it up and, live your best life. And nah, this ain't our rest. All right, this is not. We were not put here in Babylon, America, in this captivity under this man, under this devil, to prosper. Okay, to be, movie stars and athletes, and yeah, we got Jakes that do that, but that's their lot. All right, but if you have any understanding, you got to understand that whatever we put our hand to in this place, it may prosper for a little bit. All right, but at the end of the day, we're still under the curses. At the end of the day, you're gonna catch hell in this world. Say you got a business that's doing good, you're gonna catch hell. Okay, niggas may break in your shit. Niggas may rob your shit. Okay, another pandemic could come and your small business could go down. All right, you could be out of business. That's we're under the curses. All right, I'm just using an example as a small business. Like Jake thinks they can outthink the Most High, that they can go around the curses, that the curses ain't for them. Like, no, the curses is for all 12 tribes. Okay, that are still under the curses till this day. Like Deontay Wilder says, till this day, we're all under these curses, and this is not our rest. The Lord is going to give us rest. The first place we find rest is in this truth. Okay, this truth is the rest that we have. All right, where we can get some type of peace of mind, because you'll never have a true peace of mind until we're in the kingdom of heaven, until we have those laws, statutes, and commandments written in our inward parts, where we shed these fleshly bodies. All right, and the Lord gives us new bodies, gives us new spiritual bodies. All right, where we're always walking with a spiritual eye. We see everything with a spiritual eye, where we're not living in the flesh, we're living in the spirit, but we're living righteously. All right, that's what the hopeful elect. That's what the elect is looking forward to. We're not looking forward to this summer. We ain't looking 5 years and I'm gonna do this and that's what Jake in this world is looking for. Okay, that's what Jake in this world really thinks, that it's a future in this place. Okay, but yeah, you watch, if you watch World Star and what are these other little websites? You can even watch the YouTube shorts. These little young niggas out here are crazy. Okay, all these little news articles pop up. I seen a video. It was happening out here in Vegas. These two niggas, it was an Issacharite and a young nigga, and another nigga. They stole a car and then just ran a nigga or ran a guy off the street. All right, he was riding his bike. Boom, ran him over. All right, just random ass shit that young niggas is doing with they not thinking about consequences. Okay, they not thinking about, damn, I could go to jail. I could mess up my life. I could these young niggas is out here. They off all type of drugs and young as hell, drinking. This young generation that Jake's is through, man. And if you can't see it, man, you probably through too. All right, let me get a few more scriptures. Let me just get this, because really it's all about the elect. Okay, we push this truth and we push this word unto the elect, and all the rest of these niggas, man, they just missile food, man. They just they were made to be destroyed. All right, they were born in vain. Isaiah 1:9, except the Lord of hosts had left unto us a very small remnant, we would have been as Sodom, and we should have been like unto Gomorrah. Small remnant. All right. The rest of this place, America's cooked. American youth is cooked. All right. It's no future for this place. All right. Babylon is not going to be a generation that comes that turns this shit around. Okay. They're like, oh, this is the generation that's Like I said at the beginning, the children are our future. That's that was a saying. The children are supposed to be the future. These children, all right, these young youth, they through. Okay, you got transgender kids, all right, in elementary school. How that's that's crazy. Okay, changing their genders and shit stuff. All right, in elementary. All right, even if it was in middle school. This is the thought. This is the thought process of how these children are thinking. You can't blame nobody but Esau because we're under their rule right now. All right, they have the resources. They got the resources to clean all this shit up. They got the resources to ban a lot of this stuff. But they're not doing that. They're pushing this. All right, they want our people, mainly Jake, to be degenerates and moles and just wicked as hell and to be niggas. All right. So yeah, that's all I have, man. So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying unto the hopeful elect. And I want to give all praise, glory, and honor unto Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Harakakwadash, Shalom.